Chosen one. What if I told you the small step you just took, the decision you almost ignored, the moment that looked ordinary, was the very thing heaven was waiting for? Listen carefully. You thought it was just another day, just another prayer, just another tear, just another goodbye. But in the spirit, something shifted. Chains broke that you could not see. Doors moved that you could not touch. Angels received instructions concerning your future, and the enemy knows it. That is why the attacks increased. That is why the loneliness became heavier. That is why people suddenly changed around you. Because the moment you took that step, you activated a blessing with your name on it. A blessing God prepared years ago. Hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are chosen, and the season you are entering will make every painful night make sense. Because God is about to reveal why He separated you from everyone else. Stay with me until the end. Because this message is not coincidence. This message found you because heaven wanted it to. And God is saying, the wait is ending. Chosen one, you keep asking God why your life has been so different. Why people misunderstood you. Why you always felt alone in crowded rooms. Why your heart carried pain nobody could see. But hear this clearly. Different was never punishment. Different was protection. God had to separate you before He elevated you. Because the oil on your life could not survive certain environments. Listen carefully. Most people around you were comfortable sleeping spiritually, comfortable following crowds, comfortable living without purpose. But you were never meant to blend in. That is why your spirit always felt restless. That is why normal conversations drained you. That is why betrayal hit you deeper than others, because your soul was built for something eternal. And the enemy recognized your calling before you did. That is why warfare started early in your life. Some of you were wounded as children, rejected before you understood rejection, abandoned before you understood love. The enemy wanted to break your identity before heaven revealed it. But look at you. You survived. You cried, but you survived. You broke down, but you survived. People walked away, but you survived. Hear this clearly. That was not luck. That was God preserving His chosen vessel because your future is too important to die in your past. And the step you just took activated movement in the spirit realm. Maybe nobody celebrated your step. Maybe nobody noticed your growth, but heaven noticed. God noticed. The moment you chose obedience over comfort. The moment you walked away from toxic people. The moment you prayed instead of quitting. The moment you kept going while secretly exhausted. Something activated. Listen carefully. Some blessings only respond to movement. The Red Sea did not open while Moses stood still. The walls of Jericho did not fall before the march. David did not defeat Goliath hiding in fear. And your breakthrough was waiting for your faith to move. God is saying, that small step was your yes. And heaven responds to yes, even when your voice shakes, even when your faith feels weak, even when your heart is tired. Your yes changed everything. Chosen one, you thought God was silent, but He was preparing. While you cried in private, God was arranging things in secret. While people ignored you, God was building you. While doors closed, God was redirecting you. You were never buried, you were planted. And there is a difference. Seeds look hidden before they become trees. Hear this clearly. The isolation season was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to transform you. Because God cannot reveal your true identity in noisy environments. Some people had to leave your life because they were connected to an older version of you. And God is removing every fake connection that cannot survive your next level. That is why certain friendships suddenly collapsed. That is why some relationships became cold overnight. You kept blaming yourself, but God was protecting your destiny. Listen carefully. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some people loved your weakness, but feared your power. Some people celebrated you only when you were broken. But the moment your spirit started waking up, the moment your confidence returned, the moment your discernment increased, their masks started falling. And it hurt, because betrayal from strangers is painful. But betrayal from people you trusted cuts deeply. Still, God allowed it for a reason, because chosen people cannot enter destiny attached to counterfeit love. Hear this clearly. The heartbreak was not the end. It was surgery. God was removing emotional poison from your spirit. And yes, it nearly destroyed you. There were nights you cried silently, nights you questioned your worth, nights you asked God if anybody truly cared. But heaven saw every tear. And God says, I was closer than you realized. Chosen one, you are entering a season where your suffering will finally make sense. The prayers you thought were ignored were being stored. The tears you thought were wasted were watering your future. The delays you hated were protecting you from premature destruction, because timing matters. Divine timing matters. If God gave you certain blessings too early, you would have lost them. So He trained your spirit first through pain, through silence, through waiting. Listen carefully. Silence does not mean absence. Sometimes God is silent because He is working on things bigger than your understanding. And during the silence, He was strengthening your endurance, because your next season requires strength your old self did not have. Hear this clearly. The version of you that entered the storm is not the same version leaving it. You have changed. You see differently now. You discern differently now. You pray differently now. You stopped chasing approval, stopped begging people to stay, stopped shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. And that transformation activated your blessing, because heaven rewards obedience. The enemy thought isolation would weaken you. Instead, it introduced you to God. Now your spirit hears things differently. You notice signs. You feel warnings. You sense shifts before they happen, because suffering sharpened your discernment. Chosen one, God is waking you up spiritually. That uneasy feeling you keep having is not random. That pull toward prayer is not random. That separation from old habits is not random. Heaven is preparing you for elevation. And elevation always requires separation first. Listen carefully. Before Joseph reached the palace, he survived the pit. Before David wore the crown, he fought lions in isolation. Before Jesus began ministry, he endured the wilderness. And before your breakthrough, you had to survive hidden preparation. Hear this clearly. Hidden does not mean forgotten. God develops His strongest warriors in secret places. That is why your life felt delayed, while others moved ahead. Because your calling is heavier, your assignment is greater, and God had to build your spirit deeply enough to carry what is coming. Chosen one, the next chapter of your life will shock people. The same people who doubted you will witness your transformation. The same people who abandoned you will hear about your elevation, because God is not finished, not even close. And the step you just took was the trigger. The beginning, the activation, the moment heaven said, now they are ready. Chosen one, there are blessings attached to your life that have been waiting for the version of you to appear. Hear this clearly. Not the broken version, not the fearful version, not the version addicted to validation, the healed version, the awakened version, the version that finally trusts God, even without visible proof. Listen carefully. For years you thought you were losing, but in the spirit, You were being prepared. Every disappointment carried instruction. Every betrayal carried revelation. Every delay carried protection. And now, you are stepping into the season where hidden prayers become visible miracles. God is saying, what took years to build will arrive suddenly. That is how divine timing works. People will think it happened overnight, but they didn't see your hidden battles. They did not see the nights you almost gave up, the moments you fought depression silently, the days you smiled while your soul was exhausted. They saw your surface. God saw your survival. And heaven honors endurance. Chosen one, you survived things that should have destroyed you. Some of you survived emotional warfare, spiritual warfare, mental warfare. You smiled while bleeding internally, and people misunderstood your silence. But hear this clearly. Silent battles create strong spirits. The enemy attacked you because your future carries impact. Darkness does not fear ordinary people. Darkness fears awakened people. That is why confusion surrounded your mind. That is why distractions appeared before important moments. That is why exhaustion intensified whenever you tried to grow spiritually. The enemy wanted you distracted from your assignment, but God kept pulling you back again and again and again, because your destiny is not negotiable. Listen carefully. You were chosen before people rejected you. Chosen before the betrayal. Chosen before the heartbreak. God already knew every wound you would carry, and still He called you. Think about that. God saw every mistake, every weakness, every failure, and still said, "That one is mine." Chosen one, do not ignore the signs around you anymore. The repeated messages, the strange confirmations, the dreams, the sudden awareness, the spiritual discomfort around certain people. God has been speaking to you. Because when heaven prepares, elevation discernment increases first. Hear this clearly. Not everybody clapping for you is for you. Some people studied your weakness, hoping for your downfall. Some people smiled in your face, while secretly resisting your growth. But God exposed them gradually. Why? Because betrayal reveals what loyalty hides, and God is removing every hidden enemy before your breakthrough arrives. That is why your circle became smaller. Isolation hurts, but corruption hurts more. Chosen one, you kept warning people God was trying to free you from. Some exits were heaven rescuing you. Some delays were divine protection. Some unanswered prayers were mercy because God sees what you cannot see. Listen carefully. The blessing coming into your life is too sacred to be surrounded by fake energy. So God started cleaning your environment first. And yes, it felt lonely, very lonely. There were moments you wondered if anybody understood you. Moments you felt spiritually homeless, emotionally exhausted. But God says, I isolated you because I was speaking to you. Some voices had to disappear so you could finally hear heaven clearly. Chosen one, your loneliness created intimacy with God. Your pain created wisdom. Your waiting created endurance. And now you carry a spiritual authority people can feel without explanation. That is why your presence unsettles certain people. Light exposes darkness naturally. You do not even have to announce your calling. Your spirit speaks before your mouth does. Hear this clearly. You are not crazy for sensing spiritual warfare. Some battles around you were spiritual before they became physical. The enemy wanted you tired enough to quit before your breakthrough arrived. Because the enemy knows what happens when chosen people fully awaken. Generational curses break. Fear breaks. Cycles break. And that is exactly what is happening in your life right now. God is ending old cycles through you. You are the interruption, the pattern breaker, the one chosen to walk differently. That is why your road felt heavier than others. Because some people inherit comfort, chosen people inherit assignment. Listen carefully. Your scars are not evidence that God abandoned you. Your scars are evidence you survived warfare. And survivors carry authority. The pain changed you, but it also strengthened you. Now you notice manipulation faster. You protect your peace differently. You guard your spirit carefully because suffering matured, you chosen one. The blessing attached to your life is not small. This is bigger than money, bigger than success, bigger than recognition. God is restoring identity, restoring peace, restoring joy, restoring spiritual power. The enemy tried to convince you that your best days were behind you. But hear this clearly. Your story is not ending in defeat. God is about to surprise you. Suddenly doors will open suddenly. Clarity will come suddenly. The weight you carried for years will break off your life, because breakthrough often arrives after the moment people almost quit. And maybe that is why you found this message today. Because heaven knew you were tired, knew you needed confirmation, knew you needed to hear that your suffering was not meaningless. Listen carefully. You are closer than you think, closer to healing, closer to peace, closer to purpose. The enemy attacked your mind because your future is powerful. But God is restoring your strength now, day by day, prayer by prayer, step by step, chosen one. Never underestimate the step you just took. That prayer mattered. That obedience mattered. That decision mattered. You thought heaven was ignoring small things. But small acts of faith create massive spiritual consequences. One prayer can shift generations. One decision can change destiny. One step can activate a decade of blessing. And your step activated heaven. God is saying, I saw your endurance when you kept loving despite betrayal. He saw you. When you kept praying despite silence, He saw you. When you kept standing while emotionally shattered, He saw you. And now, the reward season is approaching, not because you are perfect, but because you remained faithful through pain. Hear this clearly. Faith during suffering is powerful. Anyone can praise God when life feels easy, but chosen people worship through tears. They trust while confused, believe while wounded, stand while shaking, and heaven honors that kind of faith. Chosen one, do not return to what God removed. Do not reopen doors heaven closed. The old season cannot carry your new identity. You have outgrown environments that once defined you. And yes, some people will not recognize the new you. That is okay. Transformation makes old connections uncomfortable because elevation changes conversations, changes desires, changes vision. You are not becoming arrogant. You are becoming aligned. Listen carefully. This next season will require courage because God is about to place you in rooms you once prayed for. And insecurity cannot enter where destiny is calling you. So stop doubting yourself. Stop minimizing your growth. Stop apologizing for the light God placed inside you. You survived too much to keep living beneath your calling. Chosen one, the blessing is already moving toward you. Peace is coming. Restoration is coming. Healing is coming. And the same God who carried you through the dark season will carry you into the promised season. This is not the end. This is the transition. The transformation before elevation. The breaking before rebuilding. The wilderness before the promised land. And God is saying, chosen one, if this message spoke to your spirit, do not let it pass by in silence. Leave a comment below and tell me one thing. What step are you taking in faith right now, even when it feels small? Your testimony could be the encouragement someone else needs to keep going. If this word strengthened you, like this video, share it with someone who feels forgotten or weary. Spread the light. Someone in your circle may be waiting for this exact confirmation. Remember your obedience and your voice matter more than you know. God is moving in your life, and He is moving through you to touch others. Stay strong, stay faithful, and expect the sudden shift. I'll see you in the next message. Until then, walk in your calling. You are chosen. Amen.